Hey everyone, welcome back to the Winner's Circle. As you can see right now, I am joined by the most recent player evicted from the Big Brother house, Joseph Pucciarelli, also known as Pooch, my fellow Jersey boy.
Yes,
I'm a
sir.
little disappointed because I had a little higher expectations, and so I was hoping that we kind of like rolled through. I was like, let's go, Pooch. He's got that Italian look to him. This is my guy, Italian stallion, rock and roll to the end. And you made a decision to ultimately,
Oh
cripple
yeah.
yourself. But Pooch, welcome to the Winner's Circle, man. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, sir, man. Big fan. Happy to be here. Happy to get this opportunity. Get to sit down and speak one on one with you.
Yeah, no, it's awesome, bro. How you feeling right now? How's your head?
I'm good. I'm so grateful for the opportunity. So in the sense, I am. I'm happy, man. It's not everybody gets to do that. It's once in a lifetime. The fact that I got this opportunity and this was my first time, applying or even trying for this.
Yeah.
So for it to happen the first time was pretty incredible. Now I'm definitely still thinking about what I could have done better and differently. But besides that, man, I'm just grateful for the opportunity. Everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, I want to touch on something you just said. It's actually, I feel like it's a question that a ton of people that are trying to get on the show are always asking.
Yeah.
And you're somebody that you just said you got on in your first attempt,
Yep.
right?
Yes, sir.
What was the process like for you, and what recommendations would you have for somebody? Because these are things now, I'm a few years out and I had a different experience. And so I would love for everybody that watches this to really understand what the process is like and what advice you would have to go out if someone's like, yo, I want to get on the first time I put on.
Yeah.
How would you recommend
man,
they
it's
get on?
crazy. It really is crazy because I've never done anything like it in my life. Not any reality TV show applied for, not Big Brother. I was actually looking for a job. Obviously, I was coaching football and knew I was going to be, looking to coach at another school, another university. So one day after I was, done applying to, whatever was 20, 30 colleges to coach football, I was like, let me just see what the application process is like for Big Brother. And all it was a quick form, name, birthday, simple information, email, and then send in a video. I'm telling you now, my video was no more than
Important.
Yeah. My video was no more than 50 seconds, maybe, which is incredible, And the thing that's hysterical is my phone wasn't working, my video. So if I take a regular video on my phone, it wasn't working the sound. So I had to do it on Snapchat. For whatever reason, if I recorded, I could hear it on Snapchat. But Snapchat only gives you a couple of seconds. So I had to do it on – I couldn't go any longer than Snapchat would allow me to. And I think whatever it was, it ended up being like 50 seconds. Yep. But it was –
What did you put in that video? Like, this is what I think the biggest question is, because I had a similar situation, bro. I couldn't get the video to work. I did it on my computer. I put in a 30-second video.
Yeah, for sure. Literally, dude, I'm telling you, mine was probably around 45, 50 seconds. So what I put in.
And what do you say?
So, I really played up the personality, the whole persona of Pooch. I played up, hey, I could probably do it right now. I don't remember it word for word, but it was somewhere along the lines of, hey, what's going on? My name's Joe Pucciarelli. I go by Pooch. I'm from Staten Island, New York. I'm living down in South Florida, coaching college football as a 24-year-old. Big fan of Big Brother. I plan on using the charisma, charm, the hair, the blue eyes to, get on this show and help me be successful. And even when I put in that video, I don't love myself. I promise you. There's a lot of issues I got. I promise. There's a lot of things I would change. And I'm learning to keep loving myself, and, that whole self-love. And it's important. But I really just played up to a persona of Pooch,
Okay. So you put yourself in character almost.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I tried to, give them what they wanted, and I thought that was a strong personality, somebody where, the Italian, the Ayo, it's a sense of, just a big, big personality.
I don't know, man. I think you brought the personality into the video that you probably, which is you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you just turn it on. I think it's a piece of yourself. And I feel like my advice to people when they do this is you bring out you bring out yourself when you're around your family or your closest friends. Because that I feel like is like truest to who you are.
Absolutely.
And if you bring that side of you out, casting gets a glimpse of it and they're like, I like that. Or they're like, I want to see a little more of that. But if you try to be something where you're like, oh, I'm not really that guy. Like, come on, Pooch.
For sure.
You know, you look in the mirror and you're like, I like this hair.
A little bit. Yeah.
Hey, bro, I'm the same way. There's nothing wrong with being confident. We live in a day and age where everybody says, love yourself. I'm okay with loving myself.
No doubt. No, and
As long as you're not arrogant. If you're arrogant, then I don't like that.
exactly. It was more of the sense of just, just because it was like putting on not a persona, but like you said, being your true inner self, that not many people get to see. So at the end of the day, the
Yeah.
one tip I would give is, be you. If you have to play into
Yeah.
it a little bit more than you might usually, nobody's going to see it. Your friends, family. I accidentally posted my video on Snapchat on my story for about 3 minutes. Okay. So I had friends comment and
You trying to go on Big Brother?
they were like, "What the fuck is this?" They were like, "What are you doing?" They were like, "What are you applying for?" And I actually had to text my friends and be like, "It's a joke. It was a prank." Like I had to. Somebody pranked me and told me that, "Hey, put something on social media like I was applying for Big Brother," And I was like, "But I actually wasn't." When I absolutely was, which was pretty funny.
Yeah, totally. All right. Now that we got that out of the way, because I feel like that's something that people really like to hear, and that's not a conversation I was expecting to have, to be honest. But I like that we went down that road.
Sure.
We're going to jump into it, right? There's a lot to unfold here.
Yeah.
Even though it's only 2 weeks, your season had a lot going on outside of the house, even in the first week, the first 2 weeks. And so, but first and foremost, I obviously want to ask you, this is something that we ask everybody, is what were your expectations before you went into the house? And then now that you've played it and you've been evicted, have those expectations been met? And if not, how have they changed?
Yeah, so my expectations, at least going in with my gameplay, was I wanted to be a strong player. I didn't want to be a floater. I wouldn't allow myself. My personality wouldn't allow myself. How I wanted to play the game, being a fan, I wouldn't allow myself to float. And I think that hurt me a little bit more because I tried to come in hot and heavy. But I really thought, I wanted to get strong competitors out early, whether it was male, female, whatever. I wanted to be a strong player and make an impact on the game.
Yeah. So when that's what you wanted to go in with, now that I feel like you did that, you went in the second week, the first week it was tough, right? You had the Backstage Boss twist.
Which was not expected.
You have no idea what that's going to bring,
not.
right? So when Julie tells you what is involved in the Backstage Boss, what's the first thing that runs through your head?
Is because at first I wanted to, lay low and, not hide my personality a little bit. I'm a big personality, I have a, big sense of humor. And it was something where I was like, now this doesn't allow me to lay low. It kind of puts more of a target on my back. I'm a male figure that's in decent shape. It doesn't help me. I have a big personality. And now Julie puts this twist on top of me. It puts me in the middle of it and gave me about 30 seconds to make a decision and that was a big thing I speak about even with the other house guests. When I had to pick the Backstage Boss and the other 3 females, I couldn't even see where like the porta potty challenge was. When I'm up top, I couldn't even see their faces.
Yeah.
So until everybody was lined up in front of me, I had no idea. I saw another 5-6 people that I didn't even see their faces, until they were in front of me.
Yeah. So you're ultimately, I feel like you're trying to defend yourself a little bit right now because you picked 3 women.
Yeah. And
is that what's happening right now?
A little bit. Yes. And I thought and thank God Julie gave me that 30-second, commercial break to make that decision because I had no idea what I was going to do. And I was going to have to draw lines right out of the gate. And coming up with the whoever the first 3 that dropped in the competition, first dropped or got out.
Great decision.
Yeah, I thought that made a lot of sense. It was something where if I just picked, hey, you, it would have been, more of a, why'd you do that? Or why'd you cross that line? Or you want to work with this person or you don't? And at the end of the day, it was I really didn't know it was 3 females. I did not because I didn't know who got out first in the porta potty challenge. I couldn't remember who dropped first because it happened so fast and my mind was going. The only person I picked out personally because of the earring competition or the jewelry competition was Brittany. And I picked Brittany because I didn't think she would have held a vendetta against me, which hopefully she didn't. And I didn't watch too much of the season yet. But if I picked a male, I know how males' egos are. If I got picked, I would have been like, why'd he pick me? Right from the jump. And I would have been, even if I wasn't mad and I would have played it off like it was cool, at the end of the day, I would have, been like, hey, that's how you feel. You either think I'm a threat or you picked me out for a reason. I would have taken it personally.
Yeah. I mean, I understand that. It's a tough time now, because you pick the 3 girls and then immediately it almost made the girls want to be like, well, you know what?
I know.
think we should go after Pooch.
I know. And then
it's tough. It's a tough game.
For sure.
Right?
It's because you're trying to play.
You never know what decisions.
Exactly. You're trying to play the game. And at the end of the day, I was trying to play the game and what made the most sense for me for the game. And you're also thinking when you make decisions like that, is how is society gonna, how are they gonna see you, or how are they gonna, interpret your decisions? But at the end of the day, I was playing the game, and decisions I made were strictly game.
Yeah, I always say this, and I wish they would allow, more conversations before people go into the house. It's if you stay true to who you are and you know why you make your decisions, whatever the outside wants to kind of put on you, you know exactly who you are on the inside, and you know your truth. And then you don't really have to answer
For
to
sure.
it. Like, you don't seem like a guy that's like, oh, I want to pick the 3 women just because I want 3 women up there.
Oh no, I would never. They would never
And
be
so-
the sense. Exactly.
And that's not who you are. Like,
No.
I don't need to talk to you. I know where you're from. I know, like,
Yes, sir.
your mom popped in right before we started this. Like, you're not a guy that just has it out for the women.
Oh,
And
for
so
sure.
I appreciate you kind of, answering to that. There's a few more things we need to get into,
Absolutely.
but the next thing I wanted to ask you was, what was the hardest adjustment for you going into the Big Brother house?
So I guess the hardest adjustment was really, because I'm sure, as you know, there is no outside. The backyard is shut down the majority of the show. So I'm usually, I like to explore, adventure. I like to be out, I like to do different things. So being actually isolated in the actual house was very difficult, just where you literally can't get sunlight besides 1, maybe 2 times a week. I guess for me, that was my biggest, not concern, but ended up like, I just need some fresh air, reset the mind.
Totally. People don't really understand that. I always say that's probably the hardest part is you don't just get natural sunlight, and that vitamin D is like super important for our psyche, for our health,
For sure.
and just for like our everyday living. And so when you are shut down, we were in the backyard during All-Star season because it was like middle of the pandemic. We had the backyard maybe like 1.5 days.
Yeah.
So think about that. Like, it's like 36 hours we're in the backyard, and then we're inside for the next like 5.5
That's
days.
exactly
And that messes with your head.
Yep. Ours was, we got all day Sunday, and then maybe like a couple hours Saturday night. And then after that, at least I know I was only in for 2 weeks, but for those 2 weeks, it was Saturday night maybe, and then all day Sunday. After that, the thing shut down. You're locked in the house.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough, and people don't realize the bright white LED lights that they have in there burn your retinas. Like, I remember going to bed and my eyeballs would just be throbbing.
Dude, I'm so happy.
Like, dude, I can't sleep.
I'm so happy you brought that up, because you're obviously one of the first people I'm speaking about, because the rest of the cast that I was on with is in the house. So the fact that you just I would always be like, why is the cast wear sunglasses in the house so much?
Yeah.
And it's because there's these huge studio lights at the top where if you look at, for 2 seconds, you're about blinded for about a minute or a minute plus, so there's so much you learn being on the show, that you just don't know as a fan.
Yeah. And you just have to live through, and you have to adjust while you're there.
Exactly.
So I love that answer. All right. So you decide to put yourself on the block. You have this big plan because the house wants Taylor out. The house wants Taylor out bad. So you decide to come up with this plan to put yourself on the block. We talked about it a little bit. You're like, Dr. Will is one of your favorites, which he's one of everybody. He's just
awesome.
This guy is he cannot be emulated.
Never.
He just was in his own rank, right? But I understand the concept that you kind of were correlating to, where he just was fearless to go on the block.
Yeah.
You go on the block, right? And you're thinking stuff is going your way. You got a little cocky.
Oh, absolutely.
You got a little cocky when there was a conversation they showed between you and Joseph, who was your boy, and you're like, he's an idiot for telling me like I'm getting too confident.
Man. I know.
Right? So we go through that. At what point did you feel, because I know I saw like there was stuff on the feeds. At what point did you feel like, maybe this wasn't the right decision?
Yeah, so it really was. And the whole thing with Joseph, like, that's something I gotta apologize to him right away, because I didn't realize how much he had my
He's
back,
gonna understand.
bro. He's
gonna understand.
For
He's your boy.
for sure. So him having my back, love that about him. I just thought, I was playing the game from the second I walked in. My brain was going game, and I feel like everybody does the whole, let's get to know each other, this, that, which is awesome. I love getting to meet the people. It's a great cast. Everybody comes from a different background. But as that's going on, I'm still thinking game. So, I got a little too cocky, absolutely. But there was something where I knew when I was starting to sink or something was up was I thought I had a great chance of winning the veto. I think I'm a competitor. I think I'm in, decent physical shape where I was like, hey, worst comes to worst, I need to win that veto just to secure my safety. And right after the veto, I saw every girl and Michael go into the HOH room, which did not happen the first week. The girls were a little bit, it was just in the sense where the guys kind of all meshed together. Everybody was, cool. And the girls were good with each other, but it was a little more cliquey in the sense where some people got along better with each other, but once they got the HOH room and I saw them all after the video go in there, and I was like, okay, I'm part of the plan. I put myself up on the block. I'm pretty sure I should be in that room with there. Yeah.
Why am I not up there?
I was like, why am I not? I was sitting by the pool table, and I was like, why am I not in there? And I was like, they're friendly with each other, but I've never seen that entire group plus Michael in the HOH room. And that's the one place where every other room you can kind of walk in and out leisurely. That's the one room where you got to knock, make yourself present and walk in, and you have to make an entrance. And that's something where once I saw them all go in there, which they did not before or the first week, I was like, I might be in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah. And so that's obviously, it's funny how the different things that when you think things are going your way and then you notice that one like little switch. But I will tell you, man, the girls in the house are pretty cutthroat.
Oh, dude, they're badass. And
they're ready to rock, man.
They are badass.
They are ready to rock. And I feel like they were probably underestimated by some of the other people in the house. And I don't think anybody realizes how tight they actually are and how ready to go to war they are.
For sure.
And when you found out that the Girly Girl Alliance was in there, like, what were the first thoughts that went through your head?
Yeah, I mean, just like I told Julie, like, it's badass. I think I said the phrase too, they got my ass. And that's what they did. They got my ass. I thought that they were playing, more of a personal game and had their personal agendas and personal feelings would get in the way. And I didn't think that they were thinking game yet or this early, or they would just kind of, hey, let's take it easy, get a couple people out we don't like personally for whatever reason, and then we'll start playing the game more. But yeah, they got my ass. They did. I underestimated them. They're badass. I'm excited to watch and see what they do. And I think, some of the guys might be in trouble,
That's a big mistake, dude. I'll tell you right now, the women that come on this show are not, they don't come on the show to just like kind of like play, just go there for the summer.
For sure.
The women that come on the show have something to prove, and they know they're coming into the house with guys that may be a little arrogant. Not calling you arrogant.
No,
just,
for sure.
For the most part, there's guys that kind of are overconfident and just go in the house. And these girls came in, and there were a couple of them, like Amira's pretty cutthroat.
Amira is
Amira's
so intelligent. I'll tell you right now, she had a great chance to win this game. It was something where,
Hold on. Well, let's not jump ahead, because that's a question I have for you. I want to know. I want to know that stuff. But so I mean, obviously, it's unfortunate that it kind of is at your expense, and you wish that you would get in the house for a little bit longer. But obviously, outside of the whole nominating yourself, what would you say if you could go back and do this week over? Right? How would you do it over? And even if that meant I would put myself on the block again, but I would play it this way. How do you think you could play this week over where it ends with you not going home?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't have put myself on the block. The thing is, I got in really tight with the guys early, and I feel like I wanted to show the girls, that they could trust me also and just earn a little bit of trust and have that. My game plan was, hey, I'm going to need to, and I know I'm cutthroat in a way where I would have done what was best for my game, 100%, and it would have hurt people's feelings, especially later on. But I would have done it, sooner rather than later. So I wanted to have something in my back pocket where I could say, hey, because I was a pawn and did this for you, I need you to do it for me, and I probably would have done the same exact thing where I would have made them feel comfortable, and then I probably would have done my best to try to send them packing, just like they did to me. Yeah. So they really, I think obviously I shouldn't have pooched the pawn. I mean, I will never forget it. Absolutely.
Yo, you screwed the pooch.
No doubt, screwed the pooch. I've seen it all already on social media. There's some great ones.
I could have waited to say that. And I was like, I'm not original, but I had to say it.
No, they're great. They're hysterical. And I went in too fearless, too cocky. Like you said, I'm a big Dr. Will fan. But I didn't, Dr. Will, like you said, used it to manipulate. And people wouldn't actually put him on the block. Or he wouldn't actually ask to go on the block. I literally put myself on a nice dinner table with some, like a Thanksgiving turkey, and they
bro, you had the apple in your mouth and everything.
For sure.
Bro. You were like the slow cooking pig that's rotating. They were like, the girls are licking their chops like, Pooch, thank you for handing yourself. And I
didn't think they would do it, and they did. Yeah. So I was definitely, in the game sense, it was a great move, and I was super proud of them.
It was. I mean, hey, when I always say it, it's always tough, but when somebody is on the block. And you may not have done it, but once they're sitting there and it's eviction night, they'll hopefully understand. And you seem like a guy that kind of gets it and you respect the game.
For sure.
It's just tough to emulate. That's why it's like you see Dr. Will, man. He's a tough game to emulate because he used that fearless aspect to his game as a manipulative tactic. Like, I don't care about this game. Like, almost like I'm a doctor. Like, I don't need anything that's here.
Sure.
Do whatever happens. I don't care. And it almost made people, he's in a league of his own. He's a different type of player.
Absolutely. One of the best.
So obviously I know you see some of the stuff that's going around in social media behind the treatment of Taylor.
Yep.
Right. There's a lot of different conversations that are happening. There were conversations that happened on this podcast. There's a lot of conversations from past players that are going out there. Obviously, there's different things. There's a racial aspect to it. And so now I kind of want to give you a chance to answer to some of those things that I'm sure you have seen.
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen them. My Twitter, Instagram's going crazy, the comments. But at the end of the day, I know the person I am and what's in my heart, and I know it's good. I know it's pure. I don't know. Like, I have no idea what they showed in my DRs because I spoke about it. Me and Taylor will be very good friends, after this house, once she eventually, whether she wins it or she gets voted out in a few weeks, whatever, we're going to be very good friends. Me and Taylor, in a sense, are very, we speak our mind and we're unapologetically, we will be ourselves, and at the end of the day, I saw a lot of myself in her, and that's what worried me because I knew, I thought I was a strong player and I knew she was a strong player. So I saw the rest of the house, for whatever reason, personally, or they didn't like that Taylor spoke her mind, which is because she's a strong, independent woman, and that's intimidating in the game sense. So it was something where I tried to use that to my advantage, that they saw that Taylor was a strong, independent woman that spoke her mind, because I knew at some point, she would probably be coming for me. And I think, and I said it, in another house with different people, me and Taylor probably would have been, together or paired or in an alliance. It was something where I saw, for whatever reason, the house, because she was one of the only people in the house that spoke her mind, and people saw that and were intimidated, and it was something where I couldn't team up with her because it would have hurt my long game, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get that. The only thing that I was seeing and that I think a lot of us saw on the outside was just like her just kind of being like ostracized and outcast. Did you see that on the inside? Because it was like pretty, like a lot of people were seeing him were like, and I know as a previous player, I've seen it happen on multiple seasons where the person is just kind of like on their own. And in that house, it's the worst thing that could possibly happen. And I always like kind of want to hammer the cast to be like, I don't care whether it's game or not. Like, it's game. That person could be trying to backstab me. I'm going to be like, if they're sitting by themselves, I'm like, I'm walking over there just to say what's up.
Exactly.
Just to like make sure that they're okay, because that house messes with your head. And I think that's where a lot of it came from. And then there's other things that were put on it as well. But I think for the most part, it was just how she was almost like ostracized. And was that seen in the house?
From the inside, it was spoken about very early on. We did not want bullies in the house. And if it was somebody if we saw one bully, and it probably made us all look like bullies because it was happening to Taylor, which is unfortunate. But we made it very clear, even if we knew that we wanted to get Taylor out and it was best for our game, that does not mean if she walks into a room, we make it feel weird. There's no reason to. We like Taylor. Taylor's very, is a great woman. And I'm not just saying that to say it. She's awesome. We liked hanging around her. It was something where there was more people that might have been bothered by her personality, but I was fine. We made it very clear, hey, if we want to get Taylor out, do not make her feel weird, just like anybody in the house. Because it's so easy to see if people are in the room and if somebody walks in, we've seen it every year. And then the conversation shuts down or, makes them feel uncomfortable. And as a cast, that group of people, and they just voted me 12 out, 12 votes to 0. So I could be talking, on everybody's name and say, but they are a bunch of great people. And I can't wait to hang out with them after this game. And it was something where I'm not sure how they were portraying it on TV, but I do not think it was, maybe once you guys speak to Taylor or whether she wins or is out in a couple weeks. I hope she didn't feel like that. I really don't. Because at least I tried to make sure, that there were no bullies in the house. And it was something where, everybody could put game and personal aside, and everybody could enjoy being around everyone.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's tough because when you're watching on the outside, it's always a different perspective, and everybody all over that's watching has different perspectives. Like I could watch it and feel some type of way, and a different person could watch it and feel completely different.
Absolutely.
And so that's where I think that's where these conversations are stemming from. It's just to bring perspective. And so I just Taylor, That's what I noticed the most about her. She was somebody that just wasn't afraid. She was confident.
Oh, absolutely.
In the Big Brother house, sometimes speaking your mind, it's tough because
Yeah.
people like are rubbed the wrong way. And if there's somebody that's jealous of you, which is where I think it kind of came from, jealousy or any view of something that's overconfidence turns to a threat. And threatening is not great. If somebody makes me feel threatened, even if it's because of my own insecurity, that causes like the claws to come out. And so, I mean, that was the only thing we were watching on the outside, and just hoping that Taylor was like, was she like around people? Because there was a lot of people thinking like, oh, it seemed like people would leave the room when Taylor walked in. And I was like, that's a Big Brother thing.
Yeah.
Like sometimes that happens. People can't control that.
If people were speaking game, then probably. But if it wasn't game, Taylor was around. And it was something where, and it's unfortunate, but even once I was on the block next to her, I had to do what was best for my game. And it's unfortunate because if I had to be like, if someone was like, oh, Taylor's annoying, I had to play it up and be like, yeah, she is. But that wasn't because I think Taylor's annoying. It's because I'm sitting up on the block and I was like, I need that narrative to stay in the house till the end of the week to make sure I'm still here. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it was me against her. And I really wanted to stay in the house so badly, so badly.
Yeah. Yeah. So the votes are starting to get read, right? What is going through your head? You hear a vote of 12-0. What has now hit? How has it sunk in? Do you feel like, okay, I'm good? Or do you feel like, uh-oh, I'm in trouble?
Yeah, I haven't seen my face yet, so I'm interested to see it. But I heard 12-0, and I was like, oh, your boy's good. I was like, your boy is good. I was like, the plan worked. I was like, they didn't take the shot. I was like, I'm going to win that HOH, which is about to be in 5 minutes. And I was like, I'm going to, they're going to say, damn, we had them there and we didn't take the shot and now they're going to regret it. And then Julie continues the sentence and says, Pooch is evicted. And I was like, what? I was like, wait, what? Time out. I'm thinking in my head for the first 10 seconds of what she said. Hey, your boy's good. He's in the clear. This actually worked. And then it goes 360, 180, whatever. And I'm thinking, holy shit, I did myself in, and they took the shot.
Yeah.
So definitely shocked. I really was shocked.
So even up to the last moment, there was overconfidence.
Oh, no.
you heard 12-0 and you were like, yo, I'm ready to rock. Let's go HOH.
Not one person told me. Not one person. And I don't think it was because I was hated in the house. I think I had a lot of friends in the house. I truly think there was, because even Turner, my boy, till the end, I don't think he wanted to tell me because he didn't want to break my heart. Nobody, not one person in the house, I think, because we know how hard it is to get on the show and all we did to get there. I don't think one person wanted to be like, dude, it's over, man. It's over. And they wanted me to hear from Julie and have it happen. And it's crazy because now I rethink in my mind, right before we sat down to for everybody to vote and listen to the votes, I saw Turner in the kitchen and Joseph went up to him. And Joseph walked away, and then I went up to Turner. I was like, what was that about? Like, that was weird, like last second. And Turner said to me, he was like, bro, he just asked me what I was going to do. And I told him, he knows what I'm going to do. And even him telling me that, what that real conversation probably was, bro, do we vote against the house? And we just put up a couple of votes for our boy, or they were like, hey, do we vote with the house? And, just go with him and don't put more of a target on our back. And I'm happy they went with the decision they did to, make it 12-0 and not isolate themselves, because it would have been an excuse for, the house to come after them after.
Yeah, I think it's a couple of things, right? Because I was always on the right side of a blindside vote. And for me, it was always, I know, and that sounds like kind of like
no, but you were, man. It's a good thing.
But for me, you could have been my boy in the house. And there was people that were on the wrong side of like a blindside vote. And the reason why I didn't tell them was because I was like, there could be something that is divulged that hurts me. Even if it's something, I could have the best relationship with you, but now all of a sudden I come to you and I go, Pooch, it's going the other way. You're not staying. And now you could possibly, for a number of different reasons, psychologically, because I'm the one that brings the information to you, you may want to have it out for me. There's no way to know how someone's going to take that, even if you are super tight with them. So for me, it was always, I can't tell them because I don't know. They may turn and go, you know what? Cody just told me this. I'm now going to say something that could hurt him because I'm bothered by him that he waited until now. So it was always like, waiting for the blind side. If they blow up, they're probably going to blow up on multiple people, and hopefully I'm able to like backtrack from there. But that's why I was always doing it. And it was always hard because when you blindside someone that you actually care about, like I feel like you and Turner, you and Joseph they didn't really like show a ton of your and Turner's relationship.
I'm
But from what it
surprised.
sounds like, you two were really tight.
Dude, and we were like this, man. And I don't have one. It's me and Turner are such different people. You know, I come from
Hmm.
more of the sporty background. You know, super into sports, playing, watching,
Hmm.
coaching. Turner's more in the arts of he makes rugs, has his own business. This and
Hmm.
had tattoos. I'm a little bit more clean cut. Not that one's better or worse. But
Yeah.
we both said it and we would crack up. We were like, dude, when we walk into the backyard and we're like scanning out people, eyeing everybody up, we both looked at each other in a sense, not at that time, and said, that guy, probably we won't be allies, work together. So the
Hmm.
fact that we got like this, we'd stay up till 3, 4, 5 in the morning, just me and him talking about life,
Yeah.
talking about the game. It was Turner's my guy and he'll be my guy for life.
Yeah.
And it's something where I think we could like, from straight personal, wise in the game, I think we had one of the more genuine, connections.
Yeah, I feel that. It's unfortunate when they don't show that aspect of it, but really at the end of the day, what does it matter? As long as you have a relationship that you're going to carry outside of the house,
Absolutely.
who cares if they showed it or not? Okay, last question I have for you, and then I'm going to let you go. I'm going to let you get back to the shore and enjoy
Absolutely.
that
Appreciate
because
that.
it's nice here in the shore, man.
Oh,
I might
yeah.
actually, I might be seeing myself at the beach pretty soon.
There we go.
Who do you feel like is playing the best game? And on the flip side of that, or not on the flip side of that, just kind of going along the lines, who do you think is in the best position to win? I know it's early. It's like kind of a crapshoot. It could turn in a day, but
Yeah. So I think that Amira and Nicole are playing a great game, where they are in a very good spot and they are both so intelligent, and have a mind of their own. It's something where I don't think it'll be easy to sway them. As a competitor, when I was in the house, I wanted to keep people around that I feel like I could play an influence, in the way they thought or when they were making an important decision. And I truly believe that if it would have been very hard to change the opinion of Amira and Nicole's, which is a good thing. It's a kudos to them. It would have been very tough. So I do think Amira and Nicole are playing a great game right now and setting themselves up for success. One of the people I think house guests are in the best position to win is Kyle. Man, Kyle is somebody that he's in with the guys, but he's in with the girls. It's something where he is truly such a genuinely good guy where, like, if he sat up there next to Taylor, I don't think they would have voted him out. I don't think they would have taken a shot. I would have been very surprised. It's just something where, he plays a low-key profile, but does just enough jokes, has just enough personal game where I think the guys think that they all have each other's back, or at least the group like Monty, Turner, Joseph, they believe that Kyle has their back. But also because Alyssa is in love with Kyle, that helps him get in with the girls. So Kyle is in a great spot to win this game.
Well, are you aware that Kyle is also in an alliance with Alyssa?
Yes, which makes perfect sense.
He's in a good spot. Like
Perfect
he's got
sense.
that. He has the other alliance with Michael, Alyssa, Nicole, Michael, Alyssa, Nicole, Monty, and one other person, and Amira. So he's like,
no, he's in a prime spot, and that's where they saw me try to rally the troops of the guys. And I don't know how it was portrayed, but I heard that they said I was the head of the snake with the guys, and I think I was. I was just.
You just talk the most.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Bro, right away.
Literally spoke the most.
Right away, I was like, Pooch. You were like up top. I was watching the feeds because the show had happened, and then the feeds come on, and I'm watching because first night I'm like, Pooch, why are you talking so much, man?
Dude,
Stop talking so much.
Just chill out. I know, man.
But you're gaming that. Bro, that is one of the biggest mistakes that is made by people that go in the house. You're so excited you want to play, and you play super hard. It's not about that short game because anything in the beginning can rub somebody the wrong way. You didn't do it in the beginning, but you had the backstage boss. But it was like, it's just hard when you're gaming that hard that fast. It always ends up kind of hurting.
I know. I went high.
And I don't know why. This Big Brother house is weird. It's just weird how that happens. It sucks, man. Because I was like, Pooch, if he gets a little bit further, you could do well because you seem like a nice guy.
Mhm.
And it seemed like that would be something that's always something that's a benefit. But you screwed the Pooch.
No doubt, for sure. And I'll never forget it. It was an awesome experience. Wish it was longer. But always be Pooch the pawn. Not how I wanted to be remembered in Big Brother history. But it's something where I know I played fearless in life. I was fearless in the game. And it's gotten me before, just like it has in life, where I've taken too big of a shot, just like I did in the game. But you live and you learn, and it's something where you see what happens, and it happens. So,
hey man, it was a once in a lifetime opportunity. You are one in a million. We always say this: how many people put in to be on this show? The opportunity that you were just blessed with is an incredible experience, whether you last 1 week, whether you go to the end of the game. And so you are now part of the Big Brother family. I appreciate you coming on here and joining us on the Winner's Circle. You are now a member of this Big Brother community. But for anybody that's watching this, where can they find you? What are your socials? And what do you see for yourself now moving forward?
Yeah. So, obviously, I do appreciate once you reached out, you and Tiffany also.
Shout out to Tiffany for setting this up.
For sure. Tiffany's awesome. Had a great phone conversation with her where not even just we spoke about getting on the podcast, but also just about life and, mental health and what to do after the show, get back into regular life. So I really do appreciate that. I appreciate you guys. Because I love speaking about the game, man. I'm a Big Brother fan. I'm a diehard fan, so I love speaking to y'all. But yeah, man, my Instagram, Twitter, TikTok is all Pucci _Main PO. Let me see. I'm gonna look it up, make sure I just can read it exactly. So yeah, it's POOCHIE _MANEE Pucci Mane, just like Gucci Mane. Tried to make it catchy, make it interesting. So for Twitter,
did you just make that up?
TikTok. No, I had it for a couple months now. So before the show,
that's a good one. I like that.
For sure. A little different. But for next in life, man, I'm trying to decide right now what to do, kind of because I love sports and I know that, and I love coaching and being a football coach. And I actually already got reached out by 2 universities about coming to coach, and it would have to be like right now. And that's the thing where I'm deciding, because I love coaching, but I kind of want to see where this goes. And I would love also doing something in sports media, doing something I'm a big fan of Barstool. I think my personality and, my humor would fit great with a brand like that. So I'm trying to decide, do I want to get right back into coaching, which I love, but it's also a 16, 17 hour a day, 7 days a week. It's your life.
Being a football coach is brutal.
Absolutely. And it's crazy. And I didn't realize, I already turned down 1 or 2 options just because it wasn't the right fit. But it was something where if this happened a couple months ago before Big Brother, I would have jumped on it like that. So it just shows how a couple months can change your perspective and change, big decisions you make and, how you want to, change your life and lead your own life. So I'm kind of deciding what I want to do next, whether that's coaching or possibly something in sports media, but I'm hoping I'll figure it out soon.
Yeah, dude, I would say I was your age after the first time I went on the show when I had a full-time job, and you go on the show and you chase whatever you want to do. You're 24 years old. You have so much ahead of you and you just go down whatever avenue you feel, but don't get lost.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? It's always easy to kind of go down these different avenues, and then all of a sudden you take a couple turns and you're lost. Like, keep a focus, keep a goal, and it's a great opportunity. And there's literally no limits to what can happen after this. So,
absolutely, I'm excited to see what's next. I do appreciate it, man. Thank you once again.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Thank you for joining us, and everybody else that joined us here for this interview. Thank you, and we will see you next week.
Yes, sir.